Hello students, today's class let's discuss about the next two phylums, that is phylum Echinodermata and phylum Hemichordata. Phylum Echinodermata, they are commonly called as spiny skinned animals. From the term it's very clear. Why spiny skinned? Because they have small spines, small thorn-like structures all over their body. That is why they are called as spiny skinned animals. Okay, now so let's see the characteristics of phylum Echinodermata. The phylum Echinodermata got its name as Echinodermata because of the presence of an endoskeleton of calcareous ossicles. So in the case of Arthropoda, we found that they have an exoskeleton made up of chitin. Right? In Mollusca, we found that they have a calcareous shell. Whereas in Echinodermata, it is the internal skeleton which is made up of calcium, and that is called as ossicles. Okay, so they have an endoskeleton of calcareous ossicles. That is a unique feature of Echinodermata. Hope it's clear. So they got that name Echinodermata because of the presence of calcareous ossicles, which forms their endoskeleton. Hope it's clear. Right. Now, the general characteristics. You all know, without seeing, you can say. Level of organization will be organ system level of organization. They'll be exhibiting bilateral symmetry. They'll be triploblastic, and they will be coelomates. Right? Now, another unique feature which we find only in Echinodermata is the presence of a water vascular system. So I hope you remember in the first phylum, which phylum? Phylum Porifera, we discussed about water canal system, isn't it? Or water transport system consisting of small pores called as ostia and a large pore called as the osculum. So water enters through ostia and goes out through osculum. Whereas here in the case of Echinodermata, we find a unique system that is called as the water vascular system or the ambulacral system. Once again, water vascular system or ambulacral system. Now what is this system? What are its functions? It has almost all the functions of the body will be performed by this water vascular system. That is why it's unique, right? So the function of a water vascular system is it helps in locomotion, it helps in capture of food, it helps in transport of food, and also it helps in respiration. Okay, so almost all the major functions are done by this ambulacral system. Okay, so now let's see. You don't have to study in detail about the ambulacral system, but still I will explain to you what is the ambulacral system. So the water vascular system of starfish is shown in this picture. So you all must have seen starfish, right? It has 5 arms, right? Now another important feature which I forgot to mention, general characteristics. They exhibit bilateral symmetry when they are young. Right? Larval stages exhibit bilateral symmetry, but adult echinoderms exhibit radial symmetry, a point to be noted. So only 3 phylums exhibit radial symmetry. First one is phylum Coelenterata, second phylum is phylum Ctenophora, and the third phylum, that is adult echinoderms. Larval echinoderms exhibit bilateral symmetry, whereas adult echinoderms, remember that, a phylum which exhibits both the symmetries, that is bilateral symmetry as well as radial symmetry. Bilateral symmetry will be exhibited by larval echinoderms and radial symmetry will be exhibited by adult echinoderms. Adult means what? When they grow. When they are in their larval stages, they exhibit bilateral symmetry, and when they grow up, they exhibit radial symmetry. Okay, come back to the water vascular system. So here in this picture, you can see this is a starfish, and the starfish body has 2 surfaces. One is called as a aboral surface and a dorsal surface. Dorsal surface and a upper surface. Then this surface, that is the mouth will be found on one surface and the anus will be found on the other surface. Okay, now here you can see this is a starfish, And in starfish, we find in the center a round structure. This is called as the ring canal. This is called as the ring canal. This ring canal is connected to 5 different channels. Right here you can see. And these channels are called as a radial canal. So this is a ring canal which are connected to the radial canals. And there are structures called as madreporites. So through the madreporites, the water enters. It reaches the water moves into the ring canal and then through the rays through the radial canal. And finally, it reaches the tube feet. These small structures are called as a tube feet. Okay, the canals are like network of pipes and they are attached to the tube feet. Okay, and then water exits the body through the madreporite. It enters as well as it exits. Both it does through the madreporite. So you need not study in detail about the water vascular system. This is just for your information. Hope it's clear. So just for your information, I have explained your water vascular system. So a unique feature which is found in echinoderms, that is the water vascular system. Hope it's clear. So what are the unique features? One is they got its name echinodermata because of the presence of calcareous ossicles. And then after that they exhibit organ system level of organization. Then bilateral symmetry, that is larval stages exhibit bilateral symmetry. Adult echinoderms exhibit radial symmetry. I just forgot to mention that point, radial symmetry. So adults exhibit radial symmetry. Then they are triploblastic animals with a true coelom. And then unique feature is presence of water vascular system, also called as the ambulacral system. Okay, and what are the functions of this water vascular system? It helps in locomotion, it helps in capture and transport of food, and also in respiration. Here also, the male and the female echinoderms are separate. That is why sexes are separate. They are dioecious. But fertilization is external. That means fertilization takes place in a medium, mostly in water. Then they exhibit indirect development. Indirect development means larval stages are present. That is why I told you larval stages exhibit bilateral symmetry and adult echinoderms exhibit radial symmetry. Hope it's clear? Right. Now let's see some of the examples. So this is a starfish. Then this is sea urchin, sea cucumber, sea lily. All these are different examples of phylum Echinodermata. Hope it's clear? Right. So phylum Echinodermata, you don't have to remember many points. Very less points are there. Unique features, 2 important unique features. One is presence of calcareous ossicle. Second one is presence of water vascular system. And then remember, they exhibit 2 types of symmetry. Larval stages exhibit bilateral symmetry and adult stages exhibit radial symmetry. Hope it's clear? Okay. So shall we move on to the next phylum? That is phylum Hemichordata. From the word itself, it's very clear. Hemichordata means they are not completely chordates, but they possess some features of chordates. That is why they are called as Hemichordata. Now let's see what are the characteristic features of Hemichordata. These Hemichordata members are marine animals, exclusively marine. They are found only in sea water. They are not found in fresh water. They can survive only in sea water or salt water. And they are worm-like. They are worm-like. They do not have a proper endoskeleton. That is, they are worm-like marine animals. And what are the general characteristics? Same general characteristics as in the previous phylums. That is, organ system level of organization, bilateral symmetry, triploblastic body wall with a true coelom. Now, what about the body? The body is divided into head with proboscis. Very important point and a unique feature. Proboscis. Proboscis is found only in phylum Hemichordata. They have a trunk and a small collar. Okay, so the body is cylindrical. It's worm-like means it will be cylindrical, right? And it is divided into a head, trunk and a collar. Head and trunk is connected by means of a short collar, and they have the head has a proboscis. Now, the circulatory system is open type. You know what is the meaning of open type. Blood vessels are absent. Respiration is by gills. Why? Because they are found in water. So definitely they will be having gills for respiration. Excretion is by proboscis gland. Proboscis gland. So what is the function of proboscis gland? It helps in excretion. And where will it be found? It will be found in the proboscis. Then they are dioecious, means males and females are separate. External fertilization. Fertilization takes place within the water, and they exhibit indirect development. Hope it's clear? Means larval stages are found. Hope it's clear. So that is all about phylum Hemichordata. So what are the characteristics? They are worm-like marine animals. They exhibit organ system level of organization. They exhibit bilateral symmetry. They are triploblastic, and they are true coelomates. Then the body is divided into head with proboscis, trunk and collar. Circulatory system is open type. Respiration is by gills. Excretion is by proboscis gland. They are dioecious. They show external fertilization, and the development is indirect. Now you have to remember some examples. The two main examples are, one is balanoglossus. Okay, balanoglossus. Another one is saccoglossus. Balanoglossus and saccoglossus. Okay, these are the two examples which you have to remember. So this is a Hemichordata member, that is the balanoglossus. Here you can see this is the proboscis, right? This is the head region. Okay, and this is the trunk. Okay, and you find a small collar. So here also you can see that clearly. So this is the proboscis, and this is the collar region, and this is the trunk with the tail. Okay, and you find this as a proboscis. So these are the two examples. Now Hemichordata is considered as the connecting link between Echinodermata and Chordata. So what connects these two phylums, phylum Echinodermata and phylum Chordata, is connected by a link, and the connecting link is the Hemichordata. Hope it's clear. So the characteristics of Hemichordata, I hope you all understood. So once again, let us recollect what are the points. That is phylum Hemichordata. They are worm-like marine animals. Very important. Marine means they are found only in seawater, right? And they are cylindrical in shape. Then they are worm-like. They have organ system level of organization. They exhibit bilateral symmetry. They show triploblastic body wall, and they have true coelom, right, lined by mesoderm. Then the body is divided into head with the proboscis, collar and a trunk. Then circulatory system is open type. You know what is open type of circulatory system? Respiration is by gills. Then excretion is by proboscis gland. That is another unique feature that you have to remember. So in Hemichordata, when you remember Hemichordata, immediately what should come to your mind? Proboscis and proboscis gland. Because these are the two features which are found only in Hemichordata. Okay, then they are dioecious. Then fertilization is external, development is indirect. Example is saccoglossus and balanoglossus, and Hemichordata is a connecting link between Echinodermata and Chordata. Hope it's clear. So today we have discussed two phylums, phylum Echinodermata and phylum Hemichordata. So in total, we have completed 10 different phylums, starting from phylum Porifera, then phylum Coelenterata, phylum Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata and Hemichordata. So from the next class, we'll discuss phylum Chordata. Thank you.